let me take you back to 1967. The height of the Cold War. America and the Soviet Union were locked in a cosmic arm wrestling match, the space race. But behind the triumphs and televised rocket launches was a story so daring, so tragic, so laced with espionage, heroism and jaw-dropping courage that Hollywood wouldn't dare write it. And yet it really happened. Meet Vladimir Komarov, the first human to die during a spaceflight. But wait, that's not the story. The real story is how Komarov knew he was going to die, and he went up anyway. In 1967, the Soviet Union planned a massive celebration, the 50th anniversary of the Communist Revolution. What better way to flex than to launch a dazzling new spaceship, Soyuz 1, and bring their cosmonaut back as a national hero? There was just one problem. The spacecraft? Totally not ready. Engineers had logged over 200 major structural problems in the test models, everything from parachute deployment to navigation systems. They begged leadership to delay. They were denied. Now here's where it gets unreal. Komarov, a veteran pilot and national hero, was selected to fly the mission, but when he found out how flawed the Soyuz really was, he reportedly said, "If I don't make this flight, they'll send Yuri instead." He was talking about Yuri Gagarin, the first man in space and Komarov's best friend. Rather than risk Yuri's life, Komarov accepted the mission, knowing he likely wouldn't return. On April 23, 1967, Soyuz 1 blasted off from Baikonur Cosmodrome. Immediately, problems. One of the solar panels failed to deploy, communication systems cut in and out, attitude control was erratic. Komarov struggled to orient the spacecraft. And the worst, the parachute system didn't work. As Soyuz 1 began its return to Earth the next day, Komarov was fully aware he was flying a space coffin. In a haunting series of audio transmissions, now declassified, Komarov can be heard screaming in rage, cursing the engineers, the Communist Party officials, and fate itself. And then silence. When the capsule hit the Earth near Orsk at over 900 kilometers per hour, it burst into flames. The remains were barely recognizable, but inside, investigators found the partially intact body of Vladimir Komarov. Here's the part most people don't know. He was still strapped into his seat, and his heart, according to official reports, was intact. It had kept beating until the moment of impact. The Soviet Union immediately tried to cover it up, calling Komarov a fallen hero and burying the design flaws. It would take decades for the full truth to emerge, thanks to defectors, historians, and leaked KGB files. But one voice stands out. Yuri Gagarin, devastated by the death of his friend, reportedly stormed into a government meeting afterward and slammed the Soyuz design team. Gagarin himself died just a year later in a mysterious plane crash, further fueling conspiracy theories. Vladimir Komarov didn't just go down in history as the first person to die during spaceflight. He became a symbol of unimaginable courage. He flew to space knowing he wouldn't survive, because sending someone else would have been worse. How often do we hear stories like that? Not every astronaut's story ends with a successful splashdown. Some end in fire, some end with a man screaming into the void. Not because he fears death, but because he saw it coming and went anyway. If this story blew your mind like it did mine, don't forget to like this video, share it with a friend who loves wild history, and subscribe for more true stories you've never heard before. And hey, next time you look up at the stars, spare a thought for Komarov. He went up so someone else didn't have to. If this story blew your mind like it did mine, don't forget to like this video, share it with a friend who loves wild history. Subscribe for more true stories you've never heard before.